New at 5 tonight, a ruling sending shockwaves across communities nationwide. A judge determined that a school in Texas did not violate the state's Crown Act by suspending a black student for his hairstyle. Daryl George is a high school junior outside of Houston. And back in August, the Barbers Hill School District said he wasn't complying with the dress code because his hair was too long. So for most of the school year, George has been on suspension or in a disciplinary program. His family says they'll ask a federal court for an injunction. They've also filed a civil rights lawsuit against the Texas governor and attorney general. So let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes into this conversation. So Khalif, let's talk about this first, the dress code. It says male students' hair cannot extend below the eyebrows, earlobes, or the top of a t-shirt collar. With that in mind, have we ever seen a ruling like this before?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen things like this before. The problem is the dress code and the policy is there. And I think that his hair was not too long. There was another portion of the policy that talked about you can't even have it up in a bun style, and if it came down, it dropped longer. That's correct. Where they caught him on there. But the issue is the language within that rule legal? And it seems like if you read the Crown Act, it's clearly not legal. And so that's where the problem will be. They say the wheels of justice turn extremely slow. And so for this family, while that judge in Texas has individually ruled that it does not violate a recently created rule. I mean, the Crown Act in their state was just passed like in September, maybe a month before he had this situation happen. And so what I can say is the judge got this one wrong. They will appeal. There's another pending lawsuit against this very school. And a federal court said, yes, we will give an injunction and stop you guys from enforcing this archaic rule that does not make any connection and is in clear violation of what your General Assembly in your state just passed. So I don't understand what the judge was attempting to do by the ruling, but hey, the wheels of justice turn extremely slow. If you read the Crown Act, it clearly protects this, which is a protective style, a style that is connected to an individual's identity, to their culture, which he's listed in their filing. So I don't understand the logical leap that the judge made.
Do you think that this case has a chance as a civil rights lawsuit?
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is what you have civil rights claims for. I mean, if you go to seek justice on the local level, on the state level, and you don't find it, you file it in the federal court system and allow a federal court to examine it. And what they'll look at is the General Assembly in Texas's rule. And as you mentioned, they filed a lawsuit against the governor and the Attorney General Paxton, who had his own issues last year when he was facing a number of mounting issues down there in Texas. He's failing to make them enforce this rule. And so when you talk about fighting for justice, you go out there and get these things passed in the legislature. You get them to make it a law, and then you have a court deciding that they don't want to adhere, and they don't have to adhere to that law. I'll say this, the superintendent made a comment where he said, we live in a society where you have to conform with the rules. It doesn't say that in our Constitution nor in our Declaration of Independence. It talks about a number of freedoms. And so I think there's a fundamental fight of ideologies going on down there, and both sides have trenched in and decided that they didn't want to fight.
And you see schools, much like HOAs, with a house, they have their own set of rules within the greater scheme of what you follow as a citizen. So.
What I can say is all of those rules do have to conform with the higher level rules. And in that state, they created the Crown Act to stop jurisdictions from specifically doing what they're doing to this kid.
Thanks for making that point, Khalif. Appreciate your input.